This is Home Games. I'm Scott Radley from the Hamilton Spectator and 900 CHML. Next to me, Rick Zamperin from 900 CHML Radio. Beside him, Bubba O'Neill, face of CHCH TV Sports. And beside him, way down at the end, Steve Milton, face and body of the Hamilton Spectator Sports Department. I'm told.
What is that close? The Hamilton Spectator.
We're not that close. We've not done the sauna or the steam room yet. No. Not yet. A couple days ago, guys, a few days ago now, the Maple Leafs played the Boston Bruins at not Air Canada Center, Scotiabank Place. I hate when they change the names. I always get it wrong. Still Copps Coliseum. Nonetheless, the Leafs and the Bruins played in Toronto. And as I'm watching the game, it didn't dawn on me right away why I was feeling so comfortable. And I really did have this feeling. I don't know what it was. And then it dawned on me, the Leafs were wearing white at home, which used to be the thing. I mean, everybody used to wear white uniforms at home. That changed probably 15 years ago, give or take. I'm not sure exactly when. Steve Milton, I love home whites. I think home whites feels like the way it should be. Maybe that's just the way I grew up. I don't know. Are you a home whites or a home darks guy?
Well, I predate you in that when the home uniforms were dark, because they were the better looking uniforms. That dark. Well,
you predate when they used to use cow dung as a puck. So I mean, that's.
But all through I think in the 30s they were white, and through the 40s, 50s, and 60s it was dark.
It's gone back and forth.
And they flipped them around partly for two reasons. The home fans could then see which are the better uniforms, which tend to be the dark uniforms. They got the more color in it, right? So we're away uniforms with more white. And remember, it was about a black and white TV in those days too, which it's not even an issue now. There was also the association of black and white with who was good and bad, right? In terms of the classic type of things. And that's why they changed back to white. I felt the same kind of thing. I like you, couldn't identify what was what. I never fully got to the white. I thought there was way too much white in those uniforms. I always associate the Leafs with dark blue. And that's why I liked when it was just the two uniforms. So much blue and just the white of the Leaf and a little bit of that. So I'd have to say I'm still on a dark one.
Dark, okay,
I
Bubba.
like the idea of seeing the other team's best uniforms, which tend to be the dark one.
Bubba, what about you?
White shirts, white ice, white players. Like, I mean, do I need enough white? Like, come on. Like, I don't know. Like, how old are you? Like, what's going on? Why do you have to have white? Like, this is when we live in an age now where the Seattle Seahawks are wearing lime green. Like, the color rush uniforms. Does it really matter? Now, I will say this as a suffering Sabres fan. I think the blue uniforms look better than the white uniforms. That's just me. But I'm not going to feel all warm and cozy regardless what they're wearing. Just win the game, for crying out loud.
Rick,
no.
Next thing we're going to see in Bubba's world is a white puck, which is the last thing the goaltender is going to see special. Where is it? To me, as a fan, especially when I'm attending a game, and I'm a Maple Leaf fan, so make no bone about that. And I like
you
the
look
blue
over your
jersey.
shoulder.
Yeah, I like the blue jersey better than the white jersey. But as a fan, if I'm going, especially if I have season tickets and I'm seeing a lot of different teams coming to Scotiabank Arena, I want to see their best uniforms, which means the Leafs should be wearing the white uniforms. And every team, whether it's Chicago or Montreal or Boston or LA, I mean, you name it, I want to see their dark uniforms because they are better. To see over and over again the opposing team wearing white, it kind of gets boring. Yeah, I know they have all different logos and the style's a little bit different, but from a fan perspective, I'd rather the home team wear the white uniforms.
And in football, teams are allowed to choose which one. You have to declare several days ahead, but I didn't realize this. I know, Rick, you're also, in addition to being a Leaf fan, you're also a Dolphins fan.
Yeah,
and
home whites. Home whites.
So they wear them most of the time. And I don't know who they were playing a while back. It was scorching hot and humid in Miami, and Miami wore their whites to make the other team wear their darks just to try and wear them out. It was a strategic thing. I don't think you're doing that in the Leaf game. I don't think there's too much sunshine inside and humidity. Nonetheless, I just, as I say, Bubba, your answer about how old am I? I'm old enough to remember that when I was growing up. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's a comfort because that's what I was used to. And that's what I got used to when I was watching as a boy, that the home team wore the white. And that's kind of how it was.
Well, that's right. You still think the Mike Palmateer Leafs are the greatest team of all time. right?
Oh no, the Bernie Perrant Philadelphia Flyers, Broad Street Bullies were the greatest team of all time.
You know, I'd lump them up there too. Yeah, I think you're 100% right about it. When did you grow up, and what are those issues? Back to that point about uniforms, and maybe we can segue a little bit into football on this. There are people in the Ticats who that are fans and longtime fans, or avid fans that are new, that chart the jerseys and the pants that they wear and put won-loss records against them. You know,
And is there one that's doing?
I don't even know what those are, because like it when I first heard people doing it like it's a real thing, I went, "Holy smokes, that's fandom."
First of all, I love the Ticats when they go double black, when they go black pants.
A lot of people do.
It's a sharp look. But you know what? I think all of us are old enough here. I keep going back to age, but it is what it is. Remember back in the late 70s, there was something about the Dallas Cowboys whenever they wear their blues. Like they had a tremendous, going to what Steve's talking about, they had an unbelievable losing record over time.
But they look like practice uniforms. That's why.
Yeah, the blue with the silver, their win-loss record continue, and they were at that time, and maybe some would argue, America's team. And that when they wore their whites with the blue, they were incredible winners. But if they ever put on those blue ones, like bettors would actually start throwing money on the other team.
Well, psychology changes with colors too, right? There was that big teal thing that went on for a long time, started by the Dolphins, but by a few other teams in hockey in the late 80s, early 90s. And that was a marketing type thing, but they found out it wasn't very intimidating. And there have been many, many studies about black's effect on the field, you know, in terms of its.
Well, and there's been studies that say that dark uniforms draw more penalties. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
You know.
Point of clarification on the Dolphins, it's aqua and not teal.
Oh, was it
Just,
teal? Okay.
you know, for all those fans out there. And number two, I remember the BC Lions came out with their gunmetal black uniforms.
Yes.
And their numbers were also black, and we're all thinking, what the heck are we doing here? So black, black looks great.
I think someone who's sitting among us may have been doing play-by-play when they came out with that, and that would have been a lot of fun to.
Pretty rough.
Before we go, one thing that, and I don't know if this is true, but this is one of the stories about why they used to wear the whites at home with the hockey, is that when they'd go on road trips, they didn't have laundry facilities, and stains on white uniforms are harder to cover up than stains on dark uniforms. And if you had to go on a 3 or 4 game road trip, you take your dark so it doesn't look bad if you get blood or sweat or whatever else on your jersey. But now they have laundry facilities, so that's, I hope anyway. I've never been that close to the ice during a game to know how bad they do smell if they do wash those shirts. I assume they do launder them. What do you think?
Like, this is a good reason to watch home games, folks. The history lessons that you will learn from either one of us is incredible.
There you go. See, there's got to be a reason.
And I think,
Here to
I don't
serve.
remember the last time I washed my own hockey uniform when I was playing.
No.
Or if it's ever washed at all.
This could be the cause of climate change, is what you're saying.
That's right.
Or your kids. There was absolutely nothing worse than in mid-season driving home in the car when the waft of that bag would come through the trunk or through the back. I'm convinced
That's
you
real
could have
climate
made-
change.
You could have made some sort of prison alcohol by pouring water over the kids' hockey gloves and into a cup, and there would have been something gross but alcoholic in that one. What do you think? Home whites or home darks? What is the right answer? We would love to hear from you. Twitter handle is up next. You'll be able to find us. Comment down below. Subscribe to Home Games. We'll talk to you soon.